this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you're enjoying the save, drop a like on the video, that'd be tremendous. Hopefully, back to sort of a normality in today's episode. I've thought we'd start on Ian Saunders, out on loan at AFC Wimbledon. Couple of goals for them, couple of assists. He's got a decent average rating overall though. I guess that probably comes from the fact that Wimbledon are probably romping the National League. In fact, we can just have a quick gander. They're fourth in the league right now, doing a solid-ish job. And Anthony Jones, of course, as you can see, of AFC File, top scorer in the division now. 14 goals for them in the league, our loan player. He really has smashed it since the last episode, to be honest. Look at that. He's now at 14 goals. He's got 7 in his last 7. The guy is really on fire at the moment. It's really nice to see him doing so bloody well out on loan. I think he's probably better than the level he's playing at, to be honest. He's probably more of a League 2 kind of striker, but hey, thought I'd also sort of show the finances. Now, we're on a kind of upward trajectory because we have so little in terms of wages being spent, and obviously we're earning an awful lot of money, mainly from things like TV revenue consistently, so our money is just going to go up and up and up. Weirdly, the board still won't let me have any of that money for things like, you know, facilities, more scouts, more wages. It's not that I need more wages, but like they are being very stingy with the fact that we've got 30 million in the bank, and it's only going to continue to go up as the season goes on. So I don't really know what their problem is. Now, I've been doing some thinking, and I kind of do want to have some little restrictions on transfers and stuff, because as much as it was nice that the AI are going out and scouting and signing players, the sort of same kind of players I've been after, I feel like I'll still have an advantage in that. So I'm coming up with a couple of ideas. One is that I'm not allowed to spend more than £5 million on a transfer ever. Now, at this point, it doesn't make much difference, but as we progress, it certainly could become a problem. That means we'll really have to aim for young and look for value in players, rather than specifically just going, that guy's good, let's get him. A rule where I can't sign a player who has a nationality that is in the major nations. And by that, I mean it's an ever-changing list of, I believe, the top 18 nationalities. I'll show you what I mean. So essentially, if I wanted to sign a player, I couldn't sign a player from any of these nationalities at the time of me actually trying to sign them, essentially, because these are forever changing. So Ivory Coast weren't on this when I looked earlier, when I came up with this idea. Now, the one exception would be England, because that way I could still sign still sign English players, because I think we need to try and build some of that in, and it would encourage us to sign more English players if we were to spend a bit more money, and it would also just encourage us to think outside the box a little bit. You know, there's a lot of big otherwise we could just scout basically any nation and just pick up regens constantly from Spain, Belgium, Italy, etc, etc. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather have to look a bit outside the box, and I think this is a good way of doing that. So basically that would be the rule, and I would have to disclose what the world ranking of the nation of the player is when I sign them, basically, to make sure that it's out of the top 18. That's the kind of thing I think I would quite like to do, just to sort of shake things up with the transfers a little bit, because there's still some interesting nations in here, like Algeria. The Sun, Notts County fullback Nico Williams spotted leaving training early to attend a fight club. I mean, that actually sounds about as reasonable as anything else I've heard. Reports say that Arthur Okonkwo has now been promoted to the head of MI6. I mean, he's got to have been doing something, because I'm not really sure who he plays for now. Turns out he's now the goalkeeper for Chester City. We are Premier League. Team, it's unfair to put this extra pressure on us right now. Well, it seems to have worked, at least. Touch my bum, capybara. Some real bargains there. Don't know about Robin Hood, more like Robin Bastard with the prices you've paid. Come on, count it. Yeah, it was a bit. Apparently Kevin De Bruyne has a Regan Booty picture up in his locker. Would not surprise me one iota. He's actually been still very, very good this year. I think he's got 3 Man of the Match awards. Where is Enzio Baldwin these days? Yeah, what was going on with players like Enzo and Millen? So let's have a little look. Enzio Baldwin is an unemployed scout. At the end of was it the end of last season he left? Okay. And he's just retired. Well, that's a shame. And Milan Bars is a complete free agent. And I've been sort of tweaking the tactic as we go along. I think against 4-4-2s we definitely have some weaknesses, but I think they're relatively easy to rectify. So straight after the massive 2 victories in the league, we went against Mansfield in the derby, of course, in the EFL Cup 4th round. A frustrating one. We played a massively rotated side. Virtually everyone bar the goalkeeper, I think, was rotated for this one. Curtis Jones gave us an early lead in this one, and we really did batter them from many respects, but Alejo Balducci got him an 87th minute equaliser, and then we eventually did manage to beat them on penalties, as I think it was Ryan Sweeney or Ryan Sweeney missed a penalty for them, thankfully. I actually went and made a cup of tea while that penalty shootout was happening, but we did get through, and we're going to be playing Bournemouth, in fact, at home. So there is a shot at an EFL Cup semi-final for us this year, which would be kind of interesting if nothing else. And then we had a really, really frustrating day. Wolves went top of the league with this victory, to give you an idea of the level they're playing at the moment, but honestly, I have no qualms about saying we were the better side on the night. They literally created nothing. They had long shots for days, and unfortunately, one of them went in. The ball was dropped off from a free kick, and Wan-Bissaka just smashed it straight in the top corner. I was frustrated as hell, because we'd created a couple of good opportunities. Luati was excellent on the night. Troffin was put through a couple of times, clean through on goal, and he just could not finish. I don't know, this public beta, I haven't seen any more one-on-ones going in than there were before. They still seem to be missed constantly. Haven't seen as many side netting issues, but what I would say is I don't see anyone getting into those positions at all anymore. So that's not really quite the way to solve that problem, perhaps. But a frustrating 1-0 defeat. We really should have won this game, let alone lost it. So a frustrating time, but at least we only conceded 1 goal, but it's just annoying because we did everything right and then they just get a long-range screamer. Thankfully, though, we got back to winning ways away at Burnley. Very, very early took the lead here. Regan Booty just dinked one through the middle, and there was Costel Troffin to make it 1-0. Now, Burnley were playing 4-4-2, and I was a little bit perturbed because after that, they actually started to come into the game a little bit more. So I made a few changes. One thing I did do was spread the defence out a little bit wider, and I also turned off low crosses because it didn't really seem to have much of an effect against them at that point. We didn't really do much more for the rest of the game after that, but we did manage to sort of hang on and get a massive victory against bottom club Burnley away from home. So that's actually 2 away victories against Stoke and Burnley. And I genuinely feel like now that we're playing against teams around us, we're showing a little bit more of what we're capable of. It's still pretty cagey a lot of the time, but we're doing the job. And generally speaking, keeping the scorelines down. Ah, dear, this Newcastle game was a very, very strange one. They took the lead early on, rather. Ryan Sessegnon had a header, and it was one of those annoying ones where the player runs across and just gets a little nudge on it, and he just flicks it over the top of the goalkeeper. An annoying one there. But then Francisco Guajardo grabbed himself another goal. Man of the match as well on the night. Basically, they cleared the ball from a corner. Hermansen played one back into him, and he just volleys it home from just inside the area through a crowd of bodies. So, hey, that was very nice to see. And they'd also missed a penalty. We could have been 2-0 down in this game, and then it kind of just resorted to the usual kind of situation of teams just taking loads of long shots at us in the latter stages of the game. We didn't really create much more after that, but considering Newcastle had just beaten Bournemouth 5-0, I was quite happy to get away with a 1-1 draw here, and it just kept a buffer. And then we took an absolute battering against Arsenal, but once again, we kept the scoreline down, and that's something we're really getting much, much better at. You could see that ourselves created bugger all in this match. They took the lead early on through Simon Gauthier, and they had tons of chances in this game. Still mostly not clear-cut, but it was just never going to be our day. That being said, we did get actually level when Santiago Tello scored an own goal. The ball was running through and going out of play. He slides in to get in the way of Guajardo, and he puts it in his own net. So there you go. But then Jean Carlos got Arsenal back in front again, deservedly so. We very nearly did equalise in the 90th minute though, as Guajardo was put through on goal with our only actual chance of the match, and they very nearly mucked it up again as it hit the inside of one post and then the inside of the other post, or rather the outside, and then came out again. So we very nearly grabbed ourselves a 93rd minute equaliser, but we would not have deserved it. But nevertheless, we're 16th in the league. We've got 12 points on the board, and we are currently 4 points clear of the relegation zone, which is the most important thing. Leeds are actually having a really good start to the year now. They're on to 17 points and looking particularly comfortable. They're scoring a lot of goals, which is making up for their horrendous defence. But now that we've played teams, we've played Stoke, we beat them. We played Burnley, we beat them. We played Newcastle and Palace and Everton, and we got draws against them. We're getting points off of the sides around us. In fact, I think the lowest team in the league that we've actually lost a game to currently is Aston Villa. My main concern this year is just stay up. Stay up, the players will get better, we can strengthen in the summer. If we can do that, then I think we can cement ourselves, because rarely have we ever gone backwards in one of these saves. That's the main thing. And I think it's just staying up this year is the most important factor of all, because we do have some relegation release clauses and players, and we want to make sure that we keep hold and just keep that extra money coming in. That being said, I still think it's going to be very difficult today against Bournemouth. They've been very hit and miss, winning a lot of games, but they also lost 5-0 to Newcastle. So, Griffiths can't play. Ronnie Coates there will step into the fold. Notice how this partnership is now considered good, so I'm hoping this one will also turn a corner on that side of things. Haven't really made any other changes to the tactic in the actual defaults, but I have made some tweaks during games. Things like, is Nico Williams back fit in it? Yes, he is. Okay. I want to start him because he's more comfortable in the role there, and it's about time he got back into the team, to be honest. The only changes I've made during games is to turn off shoot on sight sometimes, switch it to mixed crosses, stuff like that, and sometimes go really direct. But other than that, no real changes. We want to go positive today, though. Because I actually think, look, the average rating of Yoon Dong-yong has been pretty good since then, and he's really starting to find himself now that we've dropped the defensive line deeper and are playing to our strengths. And I still quite like that narrow defence. It really does allow teams a lot of half chances, but very rarely do they get proper good opportunities against us, particularly the big sides. So the bench is going to be Lervik, Akinola, Jones, Arnold, Guberinic, Ferguson, and Mamakon Oz. They actually play a very, very similar shape to that which Wolves did, and we played really, really well against Wolves and were very unlucky. So this could be a good time for us, potentially. Okay. I'd sell for a draw, honestly, because they are 8th in the league and a solid side. But, if we were to come up with a victory, it would push us onto 14 points and join us into that second group of teams that are just far enough out of the relegation zone to not be considered directly in the battle. We've not started too strongly in terms of possession or chances. Burton's ball. And keeper's easily going to get that. I've noticed goalkeepers are claiming way more of our set pieces lately, and it's frustrating because the only game we've really had a good set piece structure in was that game against Stoke where we scored 3 goals from it, but we've not scored a single goal from it in any other match. I don't know what happened in that game. It's not been a good start, particularly as Fulham are leading against Burnley, and I think Newcastle are winning as well. Oh, look at the space. Guajardo's done all right there. Luati goes round a few. Can he dig one out to the back post? Finds Burton! Oh, and I think Troffin actually got a flick on there. Okay, we're coming back into the game a little bit more. Sure, let's do that. Hermanson, Booty. Oh dear. He's just held on to that for some reason. Callum Wilson, easily saved. Because the good thing about teams down towards the bottom is they rarely gain lots of points. Coates. Good first touch from Ron Coates. Troffin needs to get on his bike here, and he sort of is. No, he's not. Are we still in? Oh dear, that's a poor effort from Troffin. And now Ron Coates has hurt himself. Oh, you melon. All right, Curtis Jones onto the right. Oh, that's a great ball. Oh my God. What a save from Paul. That's a huge stop. Really nice play, actually, from Bournemouth there. Jones. Gives us a very different type of play. Booty. That's a really poor first touch, and he's got away with it. Guajardo. Look at the space for Luati. You might not use him, though. Now he might. Luati. Guajardo. Side netting. We're keeping this game very tight, but I think we need to turn it off, shoot on sight, and get some mixed crosses in. It's not a bad ball, actually, to Booty. Luati again. We're finding a lot of space in the wide areas for someone like Luati. Just needs to keep hold of the ball. Guajardo. All across for Troffin. Oh, great stop from Jan Sommer. That was a really nicely fashioned piece of play from us, and that's why I think we need to stop shooting on sight. Work that ball a little bit more. Burton. Cleared. Right. Half time. Kind of even, but they've had the better of the opportunities. We might have had the best opportunity in the game, though, so far. So, I think mixed crosses and turn off, shoot on sight. Not so much work ball into the box, but just try to Oh, good Lord. The last thing we needed was Luati getting hurt. It feels like we're going to give Bournemouth too much now. It's a free kick. Oh, for goodness sake. This game has not gone well for us. 2 injuries, and now Robbie Burton just... I hate it when they do that. Just out of nowhere. I'm going to be a dickhead. What kind of... Like, he does have that in his game as well, and it's frustrating as all hell. The problem is you don't get a perspective of how high the ball actually is, so it can sometimes make it look like it's much easier for them than it is. Elise. Good so. I think I'm also going to play for set pieces, despite us not being brilliant from them so far. Emerson, don't get out to him too easily. Oh, what are you doing? What is he doing? I mean, to be fair, that's just another one of these sort of... This is the kind of goals we're conceding more of now. We're denying the chance initially, and then they'll just score from the edge of the box. But what I don't understand is why he suddenly goes flying out there when we're playing a narrow defensive line, and that's really what's cost us here. But it does seem that edge of the area is a very dangerous position to be in. When as things stand, we'd still be out the relegation zone, but it is a frustrating result. Not because we've been particularly good on the night at all, but just some of the attitude of some of the players, the way they've played, has not been great. Wilson. So now we're getting back into our shape again. Lervik heads it clear. Guajardo will surely get to this. He'll probably give the ball away. I think we're more likely to concede a second goal while pushing for this, but it's 1-0, so we may as well have a crack at it. Ball in. Headed away by Williams. Curtis Jones will pick this up and go. Got to find a pass here. Please. Oh. Jones. That's better. Guajardo. He can take his man on. He's gone past one. He's going to go past another one, you know. He's in. Yes! Francisco Guajardo gives us a 95th minute equaliser against Bournemouth, and that could be a massive point. He has no right to score here. The Bournemouth defender should be ashamed. Goes past one like he's not even there. He's not got that great dribbling anyway. And he just holds onto it, goes past another player, and just slips it into the bottom corner. It's Notts County 1, Bournemouth 1, and we are level. Come on. Right, let's turn that down. What a moment for us there to bail ourselves out here. Booty flicks it on, and it's saved by Jan Sommer, and that will surely do it. But that is a huge goal. That really is massive, because it stops us from losing. What a great point that is. That's really a well-fought point in the end. Guajardo will get man of the match for that too. When you need him, he was there. I mean, the injury to Luetti and the red card really did cost us, potentially, and I thought it was all over, but that comeback right there to getting ourselves the point, that's what it's made. That's what we're made of. We're capable of getting these points and getting these wins, and I think we're doing enough to stay up if we just keep playing like this. And we're keeping the scores down. We're rarely conceding more than one goal. What a point. That's a really, really good result. On to 13 points now. 4 points clear still, this time of Fulham. And we've got West Ham away next. If we could somehow get a win at West Ham, that would take us to 16 from 16, and we'd be looking right on track for 40 points this year, which is exactly what we need. Burnley, I'd say we can already start discounting them. They've not won a game yet. Holy crap. Next episode is going to be a Leeds and Stoke double live comp. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, drop a like, that'd be gorgeous. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be amazing as well. And as always, hold your gun, capybara. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.